Hey game friends who are games, game buddies, game pals, me old game muckers. How y'all doing? It's me, Chris Slight. We're here in the Game Friends, and I'm with, who are you there?
I am Steve McNeil.
Yay! Who are you there?
Ian Dransfield.
That's you. Simon Chong is still ill.
Is he dead?
He's not dead.
Not dead, not yet.
Very much alive, but very ill. So
Still
he's not
recovering
joining
after
us.
the Nintendo episode.
That'll be it.
Yeah.
And also because this episode
That was
is
a big erection.
wow. It was, yeah. This themed episode is based around the PlayStation. My favourite console being the PlayStation 1. It's the 20th anniversary of Sony's PlayStation.
It is.
So what better a time than now to do this episode?
Well,
Am I right?
None, Chris. This is the best time.
This
to do
is the
that.
best time, as
right.
I suspected. Now, the PlayStation, as I said, the PlayStation 1 is probably my favourite console of all time. And the reason for that is
Brian Lara
because
Cricket.
it's Brian Lara Cricket. I loved
course.
Brian Lara Cricket. We all loved Brian Lara
The
Cricket.
only PlayStation game I've ever really played.
Oh, really? I was
On
going to say...
PS1, and it was it's my first year of university was Brian Lara Cricket. So
Wow.
I only know it from the Amiga.
I'm entirely sincere.
It was...
Wonderful cricket game. Even had the next.
I mean, I don't want to suss out people's ages here, but
36,
university...
Chris.
Oh, okay, right, okay. I was going to say, university was when you were playing
I've
the
given up trying
PS1.
to pitch for the young people's work in the industry because no one fucking wants me. So
No, that's fair.
I'm
So you may as
36
well...
and there's fuck all I can do about that.
Yeah.
Brian Lara Cricket.
Brian Lara
My favourite
Cricket,
game on the
yeah,
PS1.
no, that's fair enough. Because to me, though, the PS1 was the first time that I was aware of the term gamer and did consider myself as such. I remember that being a thing. Like, I'd always played games. There was an Amiga in my house. I had a Master System. Never had a 16-bit console, which is still a thing that pains me to this day. But when I got the PS1, I remember playing a lot of games. I remember being aware, thanks to magazines, of the term gamer and thinking like, that's what I am. I'm one of them. And I enjoyed playing games. And there was many magical moments of the PS1 that I have had. I think the PS1 and the Xbox 360 are probably my two favourite consoles ever.
So how old were you when you got a PS1 then?
Probably about 13, maybe 14.
Isn't that funny? Because for me, the PlayStation was the first game console when I was like a grown-up.
Oh, wow.
Because that was university was when I spent a lot of time
Yeah.
on the PlayStation 1. Whereas obviously for you, that was your adolescence.
Yes, yeah, it was
So
very...
that's already a very different relationship with the console.
It is. That was
Formative years.
It was.
Yeah.
It was the console that I'd already played games as a kid, and this was sort of, I was turning into like sort of, oh, now this is part of my identity, and this was the very tail end of, I
Oh,
think.
you're one of them.
Sorry, this is the very tail end of, I think, games being considered a niche thing, and though they are still kind of a niche thing, not as much as it was back
It was
then.
Sony, the marketing spiel they came up with the PlayStation that made it. Everyone's like, oh, it made it cool. It didn't make it cool. It
No.
made it slightly less not cool.
It made it more like people were more aware of it.
They put him
I
in
think, than
clubs and
anything.
stuff is one of the common stories that I actually did experience. That a club I used to go to in Sheffield had loads of PlayStations around the side. And It
Wow.
was great because when I got bored of being ignored by girls or just angry and drunk, I just went and played Street Fighter for a while.
Yeah.
And then went home and wasn't as sad as I normally would be. PlayStation stopped me from being a complete prick.
Wow, thanks, PlayStation.
That was their slogan, actually,
Yeah.
wasn't it, for the PS1?
PlayStation stops you from being a complete prick.
But I remember when we got ours, my brother and I,
Yes.
as a child of divorce, everybody cry on cue. My mum she had her house and she worked away. And I'd been pestering her for a PlayStation for Christmas in like 95, whenever it came out. And she'd got one on like launch day to hide in a cupboard until Christmas. But the thing was, she'd...
Forgotten to put food in the cupboard with her. She, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why she left. She never came back. No, she left the bag with the PlayStation and the games in it in the living room and then went away for the weekend, not expecting my brother and I to go up to her house, which we did, not expecting anything, and walked into the living room and found this bag. And we're like, ooh, what's that? Ooh!
With a PlayStation
And then
just sitting
we
there.
played Ridge Racer.
You just took it
got
out.
it
You took it
Yeah,
out of the
of course
bag
we did.
immediately.
It
This
wasn't-
must be for us.
It wasn't wrapped or anything. We played Ridge Racer and Battle Arena Toshinden all day.
Battle
and
Arena
we
Toshinden.
loved both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, Ridge Racer still stands up to me.
Yes, it does.
It stands up to me, holds up for me. Obviously, it's not as great as certain modern games and blah, 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 but it's
Well,
still
no.
got a lovely appeal to it.
Yeah, man.
Battle Arena Toshinden, less so. It's shit. It's really, really bad.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But,
Doesn't stand up.
part of my original memory of the PlayStation, so...
Yeah.
Okay.
On that day, it was the most exciting thing
Yes.
that had ever happened to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still is.
The PS1, like a key game, and then it had another key gaming moment for me, which was the original Metal Gear Solid, which again was one of the first games I ever played that made me think like, oh wow, games can be more
can
than
be this.
like they can be
Yeah.
more than Sonic the Hedgehog or anything like. It was like at the time when you're like 14 or however old I was that I played it. It was just sort of like whoa. Plus, it was
Yeah,
it was-
Resident Evil was another game from that era that was that for
For
me.
you,
That was,
yeah.
that was just magic.
I
Didn't make any sense.
When I first got Resident Evil, I didn't have a memory card because I couldn't
Oh,
afford one.
no.
They were about 20 quid, 25 quid.
They were.
Quite hard work with that memory card. That game.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot. That's quite a commitment.
I restarted it so many times I can still recite the opening to Jill's Half, like off by heart.
Amazing.
do it.
I'm not going to do it.
Well
but-
then,
There's
pictures
a
are
room-
didn't
that in the
happen,
room,
yeah.
isn't there?
Captain, where's Chris? That's a part of it. That's a taste. That's a
good.
taste.
It's good. Yeah, there's a little taster for the episode
Stop
down
it.
the line.
Don't open that door. But Chris is.
Barry.
Oh, this is one thing I remember at the time, even at the time, being like, but Metal Gear Solid exists. Why is this bad? Like, the voice acting in Metal Gear Solid is good. And it was like,
It's Chris. Now, Jill, can you go? I'm going with her. Chris is our old partner, you know. Bit of Barry too.
very strong.
thanks.
Bit of Burton.
Thanks.
Barry
Nice.
Burton's my favourite gaming character ever, so
He's the best
PlayStation
gaming
also gave
character.
me that. He's just phenomenal. Big ginger beard, massive hand cannon.
Looks like
How
he was
could
eaten
you
by a
not love
crow
him?
or something.
God, he's lovely.
Amazing piece of dialogue.
Yeah.
Doesn't occur to me it's probably the zombies that he's seen already.
Shh, no, shh.
Spoilers.
Don't cheapen this. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid as well. Just fantastic. Another one that we this was myself and a friend played just marathon sessions of it, and I remember it being around winter maybe. We were sat in my living room again at my mum's house with sleeping bags over us, a kettle in the living room with a big jug of water that we were refilling regularly and making ourselves new steaming hot mugs of hot chocolate as we played through. And I remember how fucking excited we got when we got to the end of the first disc. Because I'm not sure if I'd had... Now, I probably had multi-disc games before, but it was just this game
I haven't.
so...
so
cool,
big,
so
so
good.
massive.
And... yeah, we were like, disc 2, ah!
Here we go.
What happens if we open it? Will we lose all our progress and stuff? Just not understanding anything like that. We were idiots, basically.
Not
stupid,
at all.
Stupid children
it was
who deserved to die.
Well,
How?
okay.
That's one.
That's one perspective. Mine would be that it was a magical time that
that.
we didn't know about all these things. And
And Tekken,
Tekken 2, the very first game I got for the PlayStation that I got before I had a PlayStation.
you were a late starter, weren't you?
I was. Tekken 2 was platinum.
He's very young.
Platinum things had just come out.
What a bastard.
When sorry, platinum things had just come out just before I got a PlayStation, and for some reason I remember convincing my mum that like we've got to get this now because it won't be
This won't last.
yeah, it won't be this cheap forever.
This promotion's so mad it can't go on.
Exactly, and she gave in and let me get it. With the madness, she must have known as well. Like he's not getting a PlayStation till Christmas, so I just sat there with this disc, like looking at it, being like, "Oh, the excitement of when I get it."
She knew that would happen, so she
Yeah,
knew it would
true.
shut you up for a few months.
Potentially.
Which is probably very difficult to do.
I believe you me. I've heard many a story from my parents. A lot of talking.
Well,
is
I've
what I
never
used to
seen
do.
you not talking.
It's amazing. It's amazing that I've managed to find a market for it, but somehow
Thank God.
I know, right?
Tekken, the original Tekken.
Well, Tekken 2, was my
arrived
first, but
arrived in the post because I'd ordered it somehow, got the money for it, and a few friends came over for lunchtime at school.
This is the difference again between mine and yours. All your stories, you're playing with friends. All my stories, I'm playing with no one.
I've got a lot of solo
I was very a
stories.
solo player.
But we didn't know Tekken was there and got back and was like, oh shit, Tekken's here. Probably said shit loads because I was well cool when I was young.
Sure.
Oh shit, boys, Tekken's here.
And we put
Get
it
the
on and
kettle.
we played it for a bit and then
Yeah.
realised it was about 4:30 in the afternoon. We'd missed an entire afternoon of school.
Oh wow! Again, I would have never have done that. Like, you're living a crazy
The
life.
original Renegade.
Yeah,
so
You are,
Ian
you
is
are.
pretty cool.
pretty
Yeah.
badass.
But yeah, Tekken 2, first PS1
I love
game I ever
Tekken
got.
2.
The first Final Fantasy game I got, again, because I guess I was late into the PlayStation game, was 8. I remember the demo coming out for 8.
Just
and me
one
playing
later
that.
on a lot of these key series.
Yeah. So I've still never played 7 properly. I mean, I've played a bit, but not like...
I love 7. 7 was my first Final Fantasy game.
Yeah,
and
so
that
it's for
was-
most people.
And that is because the other ones were niche games on the SNES and everything and whatever else before that. Whereas 7 got such mad hype. I remember it having
it was, yeah.
20-page previews and stuff in CVG and whatever else.
It was crazy.
And I was a kid, I totally bought into it. And initially I had no fucking idea what this bloody game was.
Yeah.
What I was doing in it.
bizarre.
Why I was doing it. Why I had these numbers popping up and everything. Why I was having to wait my turn to hit them.
Yeah,
and
I
stuff.
remember being
Why
confused
the
by that.
characters looked completely different in the world than in the battle. Why Barrett was just Mr. T.
Yeah, that made no sense.
There's just so much about it made absolutely no sense, but I slowly taught myself like the mechanics and what was important. And it was another thing with friends, and we discussed it at school because we'd all got it at the same time. And we were discussing at school like how to do things and what things meant and what you could do. And I remember the long protracted discussions about how to breed different colour chocobos on it.
I remember friends
And
talking about
one
that.
of my friends
Yeah.
got so far as getting a black chocobo, which is one away from getting the gold chocobo.
Yeah,
which is
gold
the best.
chocobo.
And we were all just like amazed by this. But I
Yeah.
think it turned out he was a lying little shit.
Probably.
These were back in the days when you could do such
You could get away with that.
Yeah. You could just say that and it'd be like, did
'cause
it?
Your,
Yeah.
your uncle works at Nintendo and he told you how to do it.
Yeah.
But you're right, with the learning thing, in terms of that generation, I know we talked about the Nintendo stuff before, so not get bogged down in it, but with the N64 and with the PS1, that sort of era, we were getting taught a lot of the new ways of playing games.
It was
a
3D. Yeah.
But not just the 3D thing. I mean, some people,
You mean
Resident Evil is in
technological
3D.
wise, yeah.
It's not a 3D
That was
game
learning
in
to
any-
drive a tank.
Exactly.
I could never get on with Resident Evil controls, and because I'm very, very bad at puzzles, because I'm stupid and I
Yeah.
couldn't.
But it did
I
it-
didn't
it-
get
it
They're very
changed
logical
what game-
puzzles.
yeah.
Get the hexadecimal symbol that's of a wolf
Yep.
next to an owl in a storm, and then put it next to the thing on like 5
This
candles.
made sense to
And
lots
then
of my friends, but
as
not
soon
me.
As soon as you unlock it, you walk through a door, and Barry's just on the other side, and you're like, "What the fuck, mate? Why don't you just
Couldn't
open
you
the
just
door?
open the
let
door,
me in?"
Barry?
Come on, mate.
Or
Yeah.
shoot all the locks with your gigantic hand cannon.
Would have been nice of him, but
Ginger
yeah.
gilet wearing twat. God, I love Barry Burton.
Barry's amazing.
He loves Barry Burton, this guy.
Everyone loves
lot.
Barry. He's the best game character ever.
I
Really?
think so.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
I can't think of a better one.
And in recent Resident Evil games, he has moves like the Burton boot.
Oh,
Huh.
of course he does. Of course he does. Of course he kicks him.
Yeah, why wouldn't he? But yeah, the PS1 was definitely... It's definitely always going to hold a place in my heart. And, I mean, I rebought one recently just because I was like, I need that and Metal Gear
they're
Solid
about a
again.
tenner.
Yeah, it was really cheap. Like, people don't value the PlayStation 1 in terms of it being
Every
rare.
bastard had one.
Yeah, because there's so many of them, but I love that console. And a big part of what I loved about the console was official PlayStation magazine at the time.
course
I
you
got £5 a month pocket money, and for that £5, I got a nice magazine I could read for the entire month and a demo disc. And that demo disc lasted me the month.
I'd get you
I
through.
could just play that thing over and over again.
Did you have the Grand Theft Auto demo for the original GTA?
No, I had the original GTA. The Metal Gear Solid demo, however, I had that. That's the defining like demo disc in my head because like that had.
Again, you missed it.
I missed out on
the GTA
yeah,
demo
that
was
the
again one that everybody was talking about. It was so cool, and it just gave you the game for 10 minutes.
Also, you could really try to
Yeah,
get more and more and more out of the game.
And I remember just playing it on loop for hours.
Just getting
and
a little bit
hours.
further, just
yeah, and
precision.
just figuring out what I can do, where I can go, whatever. So when
It was
eventually-
another way of playing that game.
Yeah,
God, that
and
game
it
was so good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just fantastic. I would not. Well, I wouldn't have the time to do it now, but I wouldn't have the patience. I wouldn't care enough to do it now.
Yeah.
But when you're a kid, it's fantastic.
Well, that's what you had. Like I said, that but
And
part
again,
of
it
that,
was a
I had that
learning
demo
experience.
disc. Yeah. That demo disc was my game, so that I'd get like maybe a game if I'm lucky. I mean, most of my games came on like birthdays and Christmases.
I was quite lucky again, child of divorce, so vying for your affections.
so
by
lucky.
Buying you things. I'm very lucky.
Spoilt, really.
Yeah. But yeah, no,
Ruined, I prefer to say.
no, the PS1 was definitely it's definitely always going to hold a very firm place in my heart as one of my favorite consoles ever.
Oh, I had Twisted Metal as well, and Twisted Metal 2, and the link-up stuff, which I have to touch on. I'm
Go
sorry
ahead,
if I
go
feel
ahead.
like I'm dominating this at all. You could have two consoles. You could link them up with a physical cable. You had to have two consoles, two TVs, one link cable, all your pads and shit. And you were supposed to have two copies of whatever game it was to be able to play it. 1-on-1 in multiplayer, or maybe sometimes 2-on-2.
Yeah.
Oh, I think one of the games even had 4-on-4.
Wow.
Yeah, if you had a multi-tap.
Oh, those were awesome. The
2
multi-tap.
multi-taps, actually.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
I remember Doom, Bushido Blade, Duke Nukem 3D, Command and Conquer was a 2-disc game, so that's irrelevant. But a fair few games you could scam the PlayStation's system, whatever, and play them with just 1 disc.
What?
And we were so badass doing that shit.
You guys were
You'd
crazy.
put in Doom, you'd let it load up on one machine, you'd set it up to look for the link with someone else, then you'd have the lid open all the time.
Yeah.
There was a button at the back of the console. If you held it
Yes.
down with like blue tack or something,
It would
or
think
white
the
tack,
disc was
or
shut.
any sticky
Yeah.
substance.
Not any.
Well, it depends how you approach
Teenage
these
boys,
things. And yeah, you take the disc out while it was spinning, put it in the other machine, the similar setup, load that up, and get that searching for a link-up game, and then they would both load because it was loaded into the system RAM and it didn't have to access the disc anymore. I didn't know this at the time.
Oh, I thought that you were just sitting there as a kid being
Yeah, I
like,
wasn't
guys,
as much
it's
of a
loaded into
phenomenal
the system
fucking
RAM.
nerd.
Just get some blue tack and he'll...
Or white tag, whichever you prefer.
Any
Don't
sticky
follow the
substance.
brands. Yeah.
The one disc link-up stuff was the stuff of legend.
Yeah.
I taught it to many of my friends.
Nice. I wasn't aware of that, but then I didn't have a system link cable.
Or friends.
Or
from-
anyone that I would want to do it with.
Sure.
But yeah. Moving on from the PS1 though, because I do have a brief story about the PS2.
Well, the PS2 is, I think,
He's going to say it, isn't he?
probably my favourite console.
That's
ever
your
made.
favourite console? Wow.
Because the array of games on it.
It was every single game ever.
It did really well.
Yeah.
It
It's
did
one of the most
really
successful
well.
consoles
Really well.
of
I
all
think it
time.
still is the most successful
But the
console.
Wii took over that.
Oh, maybe actually.
Yeah, but the PS2 is definitely
Did
up
it?
there.
We should check that. But yeah, the PS2, just the games it had. I'm getting
felt like-
overexcited because it had all your mainstream shit at the
Yeah.
time that I would have played and gone, I don't really like that, even though I loved it.
Was you like that then as well?
Yeah, because I've always been like that. Why do you think I'm so good at it?
Oh wow. Okay. I
and
would have
then-
been like,
and then
yeah, great.
You had your Guitar Man and God Hand and
Yeah.
all the Clover games and eventually the things that came over from GameCube like Resident Evil 4 and
Yes.
Beautiful Joe and stuff like that. And
was a
it
good
just
game.
had... And you find the other ones like Mr. Mosquito where you were a mosquito.
Oh, that's an amazing game. I got to
And-
play that for a thing. It's ridiculous. Have you,
Yeah, I'm
familiar
very
with that?
aware of Mr.
and
Mosquito.
Mad Maestro where you use the analog sticks as your conductor's hands
Yeah.
to guide the orchestra or whatever. And things like that. And the original Earth Defense Force.
Yes.
Which was it called Monster Attack or something over here? Something
Possibly.
like that. So many games, so weird, and it's because development was cheap enough that people could make
Yeah.
dick about cheap B-movie games and still get a bit of an audience.
But,
for them.
but also user base. There's just so
Yeah,
many people
yeah,
got one
yeah.
of these things in their house. It's-
Yeah.
Which is kind of starting to return now with the rise of digital. Fortunately,
Yeah.
eventually it's taken long enough, but yeah, the PS2 for me just had everything going for it. Also, Time Splitters.
Time Splitters, yeah, Time Splitters 2. That was
We had that on the Nintendos as well.
Yeah.
Because PS2 is the console. Like, it's ridiculous, really, given that this is now sort of my job. But PS2, I barely touched the PS2 at the time.
That's fair enough. I barely touched the GameCube, so you know we're tickling both worlds. It's all good.
Oh, I touched them all.
Look at him. I do have a brief story about the PS2 though. Before it came
I
out,
want to tell my story. Shut up.
sorry,
I don't have a story about the PS2.
my story about the PS2. Basically, I want to remember what magazine this is, and if anyone knows, do tell me on Twitter. But before it came out, because I was saving up money for it to come out. Like I couldn't wait for the PlayStation 2 to be released. And I had a little savings account with the old bank books that you would actually go in and get stamped and stuff like that, saving up the money.
It was
so I
the
could get...
70s after all.
It was the 70s. And I was waiting for the PS2 to come out. And a magazine released a cardboard construction that was the exact same size as a PS2 that you could put together yourself. And I remember doing that, putting it next to my TV and just being like, yeah, that's where it's gonna go. And it was amazing. And I left it there for weeks. I'd put it on its side. Sometimes I'd be like, can I put it that way? Is that turning it around? And I wanted to stand it on its side, but I had read about that it would mess the discs up. So I was like, okay, well, I'll try and fit it next to my 14-inch TV and my VCR do I put it on top of the VCR? But I don't want to cover the vents of the VCR,
But then
so
you
I don't
get
want
it
to do
mixed
that.
up with the VCR because they look the same.
Well, it's not even just that. I would like it to be stood on its side on its own. But yeah, so I had that, and I couldn't wait.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
It is. When I think about it, I'm like, why did a magazine even do that? But like, I loved it, and I was
Because
like,
you
cool.
loved it, and a lot of other people probably
Yeah,
did.
we probably all put like.
That was back in the day as well when people actually bought magazines.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, I did. That was that era.
That was pretty much the heyday of official PlayStation magazine and my old magazine Play, which was selling like 130,000 copies a
Wow.
month.
That's crazy.
I think when I left a couple
you
of years
sorted
ago,
that out.
it was selling 7,000 a month, maybe.
I think it was like 7.
I wouldn't
Two
be
of them
surprised
were
if
me.
it is 7 now.
Yeah. But I would buy in that era because magazines were huge, and that's where I felt like I had. Oh, massive! Yeah. That's where I felt like because I said the PlayStation was the first time that I was aware of the concept of gamer, and this was before really you were spending too much time on the internet. Like I'd go on Games Radar was a big one I'd go on during when there was like a US one and a UK one and all stuff like that. And that was a site I'd go on. I think around the PS2 era was probably more when I was online. But before that, it was all magazines. So it was computer and video games, because that was the slightly cheaper one. So if I managed to get some money off like a Nano Grandad or something like that, I could get that because it was like £2.50 or something like that, as I remember. It didn't have colour pages, but like it'd have some colour pages.
Mostly colour pages.
Yeah.
The middle section
Yellow.
was yellow.
Yeah, for some reason. Yeah, that was awesome. But it was cheaper. And yeah, my £5 pocket money would go on official PlayStation magazine. And that was great times.
Christ,
like,
I got them all. I got every single magazine.
Wow.
The,
you were
the local.
spoiled.
Totally spoiled.
Turns out.
The local shop would actually order in different magazines
Wow.
that I hadn't heard of in case I wanted them, which I always did.
Amazing.
Ended up getting like imported copies of EGM and stuff from the US.
Wow, I wasn't
I
even in
had
this period. I didn't even know
so
what
many
EGM was.
magazines.
Like I was unaware.
That I do remember that when I was lucky enough when I was a kid, we went abroad a couple of times, like to America. And
Wow.
that exciting thing then, which wouldn't make any sense to you now, but going abroad and seeing the foreign version of your magazine,
The foreign version
and
of
it
your
being different,
magazine?
a slightly different paper, and that was so exciting. To find
Smaller,
Do you wanna-
more adverts,
different shape
thicker.
a bit. Yeah.
Do you want to know a sad thing? And you say young people wouldn't get that now, but the first time I ever went to America was recently. I still found all those things exciting.
Yeah.
Just walking around and seeing American versions of things. Like the excitement of a bottle of Coke, slightly bigger in America for no apparent reason. The can, slightly different designs. And it was like the magazines all slightly different. And it was, I loved all of that. I thought that was amazing. But yeah, anyway, back onto the PlayStation. Oh, but also people that would come back very rarely. Like I had a rich friend who would go to America every now and again. He was the rich friend in our school. Like he was the one that would have birthday parties.
Called Richard.
He wasn't. He was called Duncan. But
Duncan?
I know, right?
I hate Duncan.
He was the rich kid. He was actually a really nice guy.
Yeah,
but he
You've
would
got
be.
to say that you've recorded that now. So. Yeah.
I don't know him anymore. I have no idea what
I
he
mean,
does.
our listenership is massive. So
True,
he's
Duncan probably will get
listening.
round to it, but he would be the sort of person that when his birthday parties come round, it would be one, he had birthday parties, which is something I didn't do.
No, I know how.
But it would be like go-karting for like 10 of his friends. Like, it was amazing. He was that sort of friend, but he'd come back with like an American game, and it was just amazing to stand there and hold like, oh, look at this, it's a PlayStation 2 game, but the PlayStation 2's on the side, not on the top. Like, whoa! And you'd look at all the
Blowing
different...
my mind.
Yeah, it was amazing because you didn't have that stuff. But again, it was a slightly. I think also it's through the filter of being a young person, so everything seems more magical. There are kids that like from working in game for quite a while, you would hear people refer to like these old school consoles of like the GameCube and stuff like that, and I'm like, that's not old school.
Mate, remember when consoles had handles for no fucking reason?
But like to me, like that's the PS1 and like the early PS2 era and stuff like that. Metal Gear Solid 2, playing the Japanese demo for Metal Gear Solid 2 that my friend got.
The demo was so much better than the actual game.
Oh, I loved the game when it came out.
That was
I finished
probably
it so many times.
That was my first like disappointment as something approaching an adult.
Oh wow,
That was,
really?
that was
Really?
one of the first. I mean, you know, I keep on mentioning it, but apart from the divorce and all that shit,
Your parents get divorced.
yeah, no, it's,
He hasn't
it's hard to
mentioned
believe. It's nice how this all ties into the PlayStation. Maybe that's why
It's
I'm so
weird.
fucked up and obsessed with games. But yeah,
This isn't really the forum for that.
No.
isn't it?
No.
Shit.
Sorry, mate.
Oh God.
And I forgot what I was saying anyway.
Yeah, I don't remember either. You were beginning
Oh,
with it
yeah,
being
yeah.
related to the divorce and all stuff like that, but then it.
He's got it in his
got it,
brain. I
yeah,
can
yeah.
tell by his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time I kind of felt like any kind of
Disappointment.
adult disappointment.
Yes, Metal Gear Solid 2.
So that surprised me because I know Chris, because again I don't play Metal Gear as regular listeners will know, but you really like to.
I loved Metal Gear Solid 2 when
Not
it
a
came
popular
out.
opinion though.
No, it wasn't. I remember my friends being like, "It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense." And I was like, "You idiot! You're just not paying attention. It's really easy if you just listen to what they're saying in the cutscenes."
And then you never explained it because
No, I did. I did.
It's ludicrous.
I did. I can.
It's
I can
actually
explain.
not possible to
It
explain.
is. Metal Gear Solid 2 makes sense. It's a rogue AI that's gone mad, and the Lali Lule Lo created it, and all that
No,
good stuff.
no, that's not words.
Lali Lule Lo, the Patriots.
As
It's,
I've got older and look back on it,
it might be awful. I
I've
don't know.
softened towards it
Yeah,
a little.
I loved
in
it.
that I really appreciate what Kojima did with regards to the main character. He pulled a fast one, and everyone went, "Oh no, you're not playing as Snake. You're playing as this dude."
Now you can view Snake from another perspective. I was fine with Raiden. I didn't mind Raiden.
He was just a bit
I
shit
didn't
compared
mind
to Snake.
him.
He became fucking amazing after that, but he was just a bit shit.
Now, to me, going into 4 and being like, "He's a cool bitchin' cyborg now," I was like, "Oh, come on!" Like, it just smacked of trying way too hard to make him cool.
I think,
and I
I'm
didn't get on with
thinking
it.
More of Revengeance, where he is a cool
Oh,
dude, cyborg,
Rising
whatever, but that's a game
Revengeance.
made by Platinum, so it's obviously the best thing ever.
Well,
and then taking it back to the PS2, because Clover did make games on PS2, and Clover is what eventually turned into Platinum.
see, I wasn't even in that era. I wasn't even aware of
some
like,
of the games
other than
they
Konami.
made, Konami were making Contra games on PS2 that were still good.
Yeah.
That people kind of forget about. Like Neo Contra, it's not as good as Contra 3, but it's just a fucking good game. And it had some very funny moments. One of the levels, you are running on the rotor blades of a helicopter. The entire level is like you're on top of this helicopter. There's like missiles and stuff flying at you.
I mean,
You're
on
just
top
running.
of a helicopter sounds incredibly dangerous.
You are
It
running,
does,
but you are running
blades.
so fast that your feet are going on every single blade successfully, and you're using it as like stepping stones to stay in place.
That sounds absolutely fucking ridiculous.
And it's batshit mental, and it was like quite a mainstream game, not a totally one, but quite a mainstream game. And yeah, I loved it. Loved it.
Yeah, the PS2 is a lovely console.
The other
It
one
was-
you've got to talk about with again because I didn't really play on the first two. PS3 is recommended, but on PS2, surely GTA you've got to talk about.
Oh yeah,
See, I never played
that
GTA.
fell out of my brain. I have more stories about playing things with friends.
Well, this is the thing. With GTA, I never properly played... Other than Grand Theft Auto 1 in London on the PlayStation, I then never played another one until San Andreas on the Xbox. Like, I missed 3 and Vice City,
Wow.
and I didn't play any of them for some reason. I don't really know why.
I had. By the point GTA 3 came out, I'd kind of stopped reading magazines because I was at uni, and I think I was
cool
only
for that.
just at uni, and
No, you just
I
got busy
wanted
with
money
that
for
by porridge.
yeah, well, booze. And I remember walking past HMV in town in Preston where I went to uni, great uni, and just seeing there was Grand Theft Auto 3, and I was like, I really like Grand Theft Auto 1. I really liked London 1969. I really like Grand Theft Auto 2. Let's have a look at the back of this box.
Whoa.
Oh, it's 3D. Ooh, this looks... I didn't get genuinely excited. I was just like, oh, it looks quite interesting. I've got a little bit of money in my account because I had some money because I got beaten up and I got compensation. And so I could afford this
You
game
bought
on
Grand
launch
Theft
day.
Auto out of that money.
Yeah, and I bought it for like 50 quid or whatever it cost, 40 quid, and took it home and played on it for a bit. And after about an hour of playing it, we had an internal phone system in halls at uni where you could make free calls to everyone. And I rang every single one of my friends I'd made so far.
Yeah.
It was probably about 10 people or something, and made them all come round.
Yeah.
And
Look
we all
at the thing.
we all looked at it, we all watched me playing it, and then the pad was handed round, and we ended up playing that for fucking ages. And I distinctly remember one of my friends, Jim, going a bit overboard, beating a granny to death with a baseball bat and then repeatedly hitting her on the floor while she
Yeah,
was
we'd all
already
got that
dead.
mate at uni. Well, so
Yeah.
you didn't go to uni, did you, Chris?
No.
But yeah, at university, you've got one. I had a mate who lived in
I had a
Scotland
mate
who
who
just
was
shot
like that.
squirrels out the window. I did go bang!
Do you mean
and
you
he'd look-
shot the squirrels, or you
I
had a
mean,
cannon that
in his
fired
bedroom
squirrels?
next to mine, he'd got a gun, and if he saw a squirrel, he'd shoot a squirrel from that. Yeah.
God, you know.
You've always got one of those at uni.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
always
kind of
yeah.
one
glad I
fucking
didn't
yeah, yeah.
experience
psychopath.
that.
I knew someone
When I was in
who-
Texas, one of the guys I was out there with, Max Bolzer, massive bellend, he's doing quite well in banking, so if you know him, hit him. But he,
Oh, go on.
living out in Texas, he put a loaded gun to my fucking face and pulled the trigger, and it only didn't kill me because he got the fucking safety on. He didn't know. He found it, pissed, and put it to my face.
Whoa!
That was-
That, do
I
you
don't
want
think
that in
we
the
can actually
podcast?
tell any more stories now because that one's won. It's not about PlayStation, so you lose. But
Sure. Yeah.
oh,
Jeez.
guns on PlayStation.
Yeah,
You
Max
like
Bolzer,
guns?
if you know him, hit him. Sorry. There's always a crazy person at university.
I had
Or
a
in
guy
Texas.
who,
Well, he was from fucking Europe. He wasn't a Texan. He'd gone over there with us. We did an exchange thing.
Texans are
Awful
lovely
cunt.
by all
Awful
accounts.
cunt.
Yeah.
But GTA 3.
Well, anyway.
GTA 3, we all sat around playing it and for ages and loved it. And it genuinely changed games.
Yeah.
Forever. It single-handedly did that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been anything else, much else that's been such a shift in an entertainment medium as that was.
No. Well, there's
It wasn't a PlayStation exclusive eventually, but originally it was a PS2 exclusive for quite a while before it came to Xbox and stuff.
No, it's true because like now you often get the debate about things being like Assassin's Creed, sort of Creed likes, and obviously Ubisoft, all their games are the same basic
game,
thing
yeah.
underneath it. But it's not Creed's fault. Like Grand Theft Auto was the beginning of that open world, do the missions, do the side quest thing. That was when that happened.
That opened people's eyes that
That
it
is when-
is actually possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like a fucking masterstroke, and so many other ones. Light gun games, the time
Time Crisis, of course.
The Gun Con. I always wanted a Gun Con on PS1. They
I
looked
didn't
amazing.
get a gun con. I got an unofficial one that you plugged in and it had recoil.
Wow. Oh, yeah, I remember seeing them. Yeah.
I
never
remember
had
having
a
to
light gun,
calibrate it for ages just to get it remotely accurate.
Yeah.
But
still
yeah,
awesome, though.
The NegCon pad for the PS1.
Yes.
was twisty.
I remember that. You could turn it in the middle for no apparent reason. Why
it was
why
a driving
that?
game thing that was supposed to simulate.
I remember seeing it in
steering some way,
magazines.
and
Oh, jeez.
it was a piece of shit.
See, now the PS3 was. I didn't have a PS3. I
this is
jumped
where
onto
I
the
joined the
Xbox 3.
party.
Well, because I got an Xbox 360 in that era, so I never really had a PS3 up until about 4 years ago when I moved in with my girlfriend and she had a PS3.
Yeah.
But I've never really caught up. Like, there's a ton of stuff I've missed. And I went. Me and all my friends seem to all unanimously agree that Xbox 360 was the one we were doing after having an Xbox.
That
It was
happened
like,
a lot.
Yeah,
it was like we're 360 now, and that's what I went for, and that was a magical era. But PS3, it really put me off by how expensive it was.
Yeah,
I was just like,
the original line from Ken Kutaragi, the creator, was you should just get a second job.
work hard. Yeah, I always find that maddening that was literally their party line.
Earn more money then.
Why don't you just get another job, mate? Like then you'll be able to get the best thing going.
Yeah,
and it was like, don't get me
wasn't,
wrong.
He wasn't president for long.
Nah.
He misjudged it, didn't he? He misjudged the
a little
move.
bit.
Don't get me wrong.
They-
Hardware, it was the best thing going. It was amazing, that first PS3. You could backwards compatibility with everything.
I still have my
Blu-ray. I know. I've
launch
seen
day
it.
one that is still working.
Yeah, I'm
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's no mean feat.
It's a
Yeah, my
60 gig
girlfriend had
backwards
one.
compatible.
Dead. She's got a Slim now.
It's it was a misstep originally, and I think a lot of popular discourse about it still maintains it was not a failure, but not that great. But it was. It
was a piece of hardware.
It was a minor miracle Sony pulled off, like turning it into this great content. Because like you had early days, you had the ported games. They were always better on 360.
Yep.
You had online that was shit. You had the XMB that was just rubbish and
Awful.
didn't work properly. Still a bit shonky now, but it works a hell of a lot better than it did. And they eventually just turned it around and perception changed and it sold really well, blah, blah, blah. And it's a fucking great console. I still play it regularly.
Yeah.
I don't touch my 360 anymore because that just, to me, died a death. The games weren't interesting anymore. It didn't have as much interesting backwards compatibility with the PSN games. You can get like PS2 and PS1 games on PSN.
True.
Because you've seen it, mine's fucking littered with games.
It is.
Because I've got an extra hard drive in it and shit. I love my PS3. But then I was also working on Play magazine during its heyday.
Huh.
So that's a PlayStation only magazine.
Yes.
So
You had all of the things.
kind of biased.
Yeah.
I had a lot of games for free, yeah.
But see, I also, because I came to it quite late. For the financially, when that first came out, there was no way I could do it. And as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, I was always Nintendo.
Yes.
And the thing that swung it for me, I know we're talking about Grand Theft Auto a lot, but that that is inextricably linked with the narrative of PlayStation. See, my brother got a PS3, and he fired up GTA 4.
Yeah, that was.
And the
That's
opening
crazy.
sequence of that, and then
Yeah.
just as I got a fucking GameCube, and I love the GameCube, but
Didn't
that
have
does
that.
not look the same
Yeah.
as the opening of GTA 4.
God, GTA
That
4 was amazing. It's the only one I've finished. The only Grand Theft Auto I've ever finished.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just PS2, Beyond Good and Evil, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time.
There are lots of good
when
games on
Ubisoft
that
were
console.
great.
Yeah. But I went from cartoons to gritty movies in an afternoon. It was ridiculous. So I went and bought one, and it was never a question for me between the Xbox and the PlayStation. I liked the fact that I knew, even though it was a bug at a code for, and it didn't get everything, the PS3, it just was better. It was the better console, even if, in terms of the market and what happened with it for the first 3-4 years, didn't stand up to that. And Uncharted and Last of Us, towards the back end of that generation, the PS3 proved it was definitely the better console. Categorically. I know you had the Xbox 360.
Well, to me, the Xbox 360 is probably... PS1 and Xbox 360 are probably my two favourite consoles. But then a lot of that is intrinsically linked to the times I had playing those games, so that is a big part of it.
The PS3 was the first time I'd ever done anything that wasn't Nintendo in gaming properly, really.
Yeah.
And
it was worth it.
It really was. It was, man. First Uncharted game. Just that. I mean, like Creed as well. I know
It was
Creed was
Uncharted
like
2 for me that got me. And like this, again, I was working on the magazine and I was just so fucking happy to be reviewing it at work. And it's still one of my favourite games. And, so good.
Well, Uncharted is one of those, like, I don't really go for the remaster and playing through again things very
It's
often.
not
But
I've never played them. Should I play them?
I'm going to buy the Uncharted collection and play it all again.
Oh, can I borrow that off you, like Gears of War?
Yes, all right.
Thanks.
Very brief interlude to mention the PSP and the PS Vita, which I love them both dearly.
I love the Vita. No games on it, and it's a legacy console.
Yeah.
But,
Already.
yeah.
It's a wonderful piece of kit. It's one
It
of my
is.
favourite handhelds ever. And I've got, again, so many fucking games on it, including PS1 games and PSP games.
Yeah.
And the PSP got me through a lot of shit with like long distance relationships and stuff because I had to get a 5-hour train up to Manchester and then
I
back
did
again.
that, yeah.
So 10 hours a week I would be
Southampton was
playing on that.
mine, yeah.
I'd have a bag of like 5 batteries with me because you could take the batteries out of the
Yeah.
PSP. Have to change them over every like 2 hours or something.
Man.
And I love the PSP as well.
It's
They're
intrinsically
great.
linked again to Grand Theft Auto. The reason I got a PSP,
Liberty City Stories?
yeah, I originally got it when it first came out, but then I ended up selling it. Me and my friend both got one, then we both ended up selling it. Then Grand Theft Auto came out, and we got PSPs again.
That's why I bought it again. That was amazing. I was on the train when
were
that
both-
came out, playing that on
When
the go. It
we-
was
me
amazing.
and
Leeds as
Sat-
well.
I know.
Sat on his, like, he had a bed that turned into a sofa. He had a, it was great. We were sat on the edge of that, both playing the 2-player
Yes.
Grand Theft Auto,
Great.
both on different screens. And with the PSP, you could put your own music on your memory card.
Yeah.
So I'm sat there with Pantera playing, like, and he's got like Black Label Society on.
Boys from here.
Yeah, well, I think I'm reinventing the steel. I'd put that album on there, but I was sat there listening to that, and like he was listening to Black Label Society, and we're playing Grand Theft Auto, and it's like, where are you? There you are! And we both like cycle by each other like a million
Never
miles
see
an hour.
each other again.
Yeah, but that was amazing. I absolutely, the PSP was a very fun little machine.
Overlooked. I wouldn't say
It is.
underrated because the people who rated it highly,
it very
but it's
highly.
overlooked.
Yeah.
And slagged off even though it sold like 90 million.
It did all right. Like the Vita definitely did worse.
It basically
but
sold a lot because it was really easy to do
the old
pirate
pirating.
things.
Yeah,
It was great for emulation and things like that.
Yeah, people did seem to like it for that.
They
But
play Quake on it.
Yeah, you could hack the shit out of the PSP.
now, PS3, obviously you guys really like the PS3. I kind of missed out on a lot of that. PS4, however, and the future of the PlayStation.
Quite
Well, we haven't
good
talked
so
about the
far.
PlayStation mobile phone, but I'm guessing we don't have time.
We don't have time to cover
Sony didn't have time.
cover the
PlayStation
full
had
depth
time.
of that.
I mean, we also don't have time to talk about the VMU rip-off,
The Pocket Station.
the Pocket Station.
Pocket
God,
Station.
I wanted that
Didn't even
so
get released over
much.
here,
I know,
though,
it
did
didn't
it?
even get released over it, but I remember reading about it. There are
You
all
had
these
the
things that I
Chocobo thing on
remember,
it.
reading about, being like, it's coming soon. It never did. But yeah.
Because they
We
went,
just don't have to. There's so much we could talk about.
So much we could
with
talk
those
about.
Great
Those
systems.
great products that they released over here and were all great.
Maybe,
But
maybe a different episode. We'll cover
Maybe.
those fully.
maybe. But the PlayStation 4 and the future of the PlayStation. Sony, after their winning of E3, definitely seemed to...
Won!
we did it! We
now
won!
you all want to buy our stuff.
But, and I will be honest, I even wrote a little article, I think it was for Explosive Alan, about how excited I was after that E3 and waxing nostalgic in a similar way to I have done now about official PlayStation magazine and how much love I actually found. I was like, oh God, I really loved the PlayStation 1. I was like, and it filled me with that sense of like love.
The nostalgia
And,
is
yeah,
very
it's
For
warm.
the gamers or whatever it was.
Yeah.
isn't it?
It's for the players.
For the
They're
players.
still using that.
They
But,
aimed their marketing very well.
they did,
really
and
did.
it worked. Both me and my girlfriend put money together, and we're like, we're going to PS4. Say put money together. She doesn't listen to this now. She paid for it. I got the Xbox One, so it's all even. But yeah, the PS4 we got first, and I enjoy it as a system. I think it's as a piece of hardware. hardware, it's better than the Xbox One
Xbox
from a
One's
user
regressed
interface.
from 360.
Right? How? I know this isn't an Xbox thing, but how maddening is it?
It looks
to
like
me,
an original Xbox, and that was just a massive.
not
chunky
even
piece of
just the
shit.
way it looks. To me, this is a very quick sidebar into Xbox. We'll talk about it properly later. Xbox to Xbox 360, it felt like to me they'd gone, you know everything that was a bit annoying about the Xbox original one? Yeah, because I can't call it Xbox One anymore. But you know...
It's its own kind of bullshit.
Exactly. But you know what was really annoying about the original Xbox? All those little things like little buttons on the controller and stuff like that. Yeah. We've taken all of that and made it better. And we've changed things and it's all better now into this brilliant console.
The console's still big, but it looks slim. And, it's
And now
pretty.
the Xbox One does things that the Xbox 360... It doesn't do things that the Xbox 360 did. It's maddening. And they're adding stuff on like I'm meant to be happy about it. But I'm like, the original console that I had before this one did all this stuff. Like the little menu that you can pop up during a game. You're like, it just did that from launch.
That kind of stuff did update over time.
Well, it did, but you still had that quite
It is
quickly.
still annoying to
and
lose it.
And it was on the 360. And stuff like, I can't just press mute everyone in a chat situation. That was one of the best features of the 360. Auto-mute everyone in an online game, whatever the online game is. Can't do it on the Xbox One.
It was also pre-launch. It was the messaging with the Xbox that killed.
Yeah.
It.
But
wrong.
anyway.
The
PS4.
By
Yes.
the time the PS4 came about, I had got to whatever stage in my career as a professional, which I am. I've already
Yes.
mentioned that.
Oh,
Hey.
yeah.
I am a
He's a
professional,
pro.
after all.
Okay.
I got to
I
the
was
stage
barely
where
starting out when that...
Sony did
launched.
give me a PS4
Oh, you got one of them.
I
You were
got
one of the
in-
footballers and you.
a week before they came out. I think the footballers got them 2 weeks before they came out.
They did.
I got one
They
a week
tweeted their
before it
one
came out.
tweet and then... that was it.
I had to make my way home from Sony's offices in central London.
Yes.
Through areas like Bethnal Green and stuff, which aren't bad, but when you've got a piece of hardware that's highly sought after and it isn't even out yet, and you've just got it in a shitty little bag, and people can see what it is. From
You're
the
very
top.
aware you're carrying an important thing. in your hand.
You live in the East End of London, don't you?
Yes.
Now, because my family's from, like my dad's side of the family's from that area. Apparently, it's got nicer now.
Oh,
but
it's a lot nicer.
I remember when we were driving into Plaistow, was the area where my gran used to live. I think I've told you this before. As we drove in, my dad the doors would all lock on the cars, and I was like, my dad grew up here and lived here till he was 25, but he is worried enough that he thinks someone might just open the door and drag his children out of the car. So he's like, so it's that kind of an area. Like as soon as you got off the motorway and into East London, it was like you just hear all the doors and be like, okay.
Imagine being in that situation with something important
With
like
a
a PS4.
Not like your children.
Yeah,
a
fuck
PS4. Yeah.
And also I was genuinely excited. And I
Yeah.
hadn't been genuinely excited about like getting a new. You know, I wanted them and I had to have them.
Yeah.
But I was genuinely excited about having this. And yeah, so far I'm loving my PS4. It's a great piece of kit.
It's a lovely machine.
could
it's
all
a lovely
go
bit of
tits
software.
up.
Oh, it could.
But
The Microsoft has definitely sorted themselves out much quicker than Sony did with the PS3. Like
Yeah,
they've
totally.
been like, oh god, okay, well we should probably fix all of that, shouldn't we? Immediately.
Yeah,
That
they
man's
are.
fired. Let's just sort all of this out now.
put
And
someone who
they're-
actually knows about games in charge. Oh,
Yeah.
that's handy.
they were really trying hard to win that thing around. But the PS4 is it's a lovely bit of
I
hardware.
love the pad too.
I
DualShock
love the
4
pad.
is probably my favourite pad.
Yeah, at the moment, out of the Xbox One and the PS4.
The Xbox One bumpers are bullshit.
Right? Again, let's make things worse.
That's right.
it's
We've
a
got an
really
elite
weird...
controller now. We'll sell you that.
Oh, thank God. That's
It's only
really nice.
£9,000.
We've got
Oh.
you covered.
Or your kids if you're in
I
plus.
love the Xbox 360, and it's maddening to see things that were fine on the 360 made worse. It's like, come on. But, yeah, anyway. We're not talking about the
PlayStation.
Xbox. But the PlayStation, yeah, the PS4, and the future looks bright for Sony. They seem to be back on track of being like the... It feels like if you're going to get a promo copy, because this is kind of a way, like, in the industry, people would tell me, promo copies would always be on the Xbox 360.
Yes, and they are. Yeah, no,
Now-
I can confirm they
Like-
tend to be on PS4 now.
Now,
towards
yeah.
the end of last generation, they tended to be on PS3.
Okay.
Yeah. that's-
EA were the first ones to make the drive to actually make PS3 their lead development machine,
Wow.
console, whatever. So
So the
things-
tide had been turned.
yeah, the tide had
'Cause
totally
that-
been turned
I
like,
would
behind
say
the scenes.
That feels like an indicator, though, of what is the, like, well, this is the one we're focusing
This is
on.
the best
This,
one.
this,
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
this is
yeah.
the one that we can have like the best.
If we're going to give you
Apart
the
from-
thing to review.
Apart from PC, but PC they can never rely on because everyone has a different configuration,
Yes.
blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it is PS4 seems to be the main one, and you kind of have to specify if you want Xbox One.
Yeah, the only time
I'm
yeah.
surprised when I get sent Xbox One copies of
Yeah.
things to review.
When I've done reviews, I've only ever been given Xbox One as retail. Like if it's a retail disc of it, but yeah, it's always PS4.
Yeah, things are looking
PlayStation
good.
is a thing, isn't it?
PlayStation a thing 20 years ago as well. It was 20 years ago today when Mr. Sony came out to play, he said, slightly changing.
And no doubt in
Sgt.
20 years'
Pepper's.
time, we'll all still be sat here around this table talking about the PlayStation 8, I imagine.
More than likely.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that one is again designed by Ken Kutaragi, who they bring out of retirement or whatever he's in. So it can just be batshit mental with like 90 HDMI ports, even though we'll be well beyond HDMI.
We
by
won't
that
need
point.
HDMI ports.
He's like, yeah, but you've got 9, so get 5 jobs.
Get
so
10
you can buy
10 jobs
10
for each
consoles,
HDMI
and
port.
we're not doing games for it. We're just having it as a ham dispensary.
I think that's fair.
I think that is an accurate prediction, and you can all hold me to that.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I have a lot of love for the PlayStation brand myself, like as a thing.
I can't
Just for
say
that
I love brands,
nostalgia.
but
I know.
I think I do. And
Yeah.
that makes me feel
The
horrible
PlayStation.
inside.
No, does it? It fills me with a warm sense of when I see
Because it is
PlayStation. I
a
You're a
brand.
corporate shield.
I am.
They-
I see episodes of The Simpsons with Krusty the Clown being a shill, and I aspired to that as a child. I look at that and go, God, that'd be the life. I can walk in, bang out 5 things, get out, get in the Canyonero and drive away. It's that bit at the end of Krusty the Clown on the comedy episode where he gives up on comedy and goes, you know what I'm good at, kid? Selling out. And he like chucks his thing away and I'm like, yep, that's me. So that's the future.
You sold out to PlayStation, as did many of us.
Can I ask a final question to wrap things up?
Yeah, go on.
Favourite PlayStation?
PS1.
PS2.
PS3.
1, 2, 3.
But there's time for 4.
Yeah.
Oh! Nice.
I think you think that meant something, and I don't think it did. But
Oh shit!
I enjoyed your reaction. Yeah, I just meant it's not finished yet, so maybe that will become our favourite in time.
Yes, maybe.
It has the potential.
It does. It's
But I
my
think-
lead
I
console at the
think
moment.
the console and the hardware and stuff, there are still things to sort out, but generally speaking, it's all there, it's all great. What needs to be sorted out is the games, because the games industry these days is not as good as it used to be. I sound like a tosser old man, but I am, so there you go.
Need more good games, please.
Yes, more interesting games, more like the PS2 era, which is coming back, like I said, because of digital stuff.
Yeah.
And once we've got that back, once we've got things that I think are unique and interesting, because I am the barometer for this kind of
You
stuff.
are, correct.
I like
yeah,
that it is.
yeah.
And once we've got the things that I like,
Yes.
then it will be fine.
Once the Dransfield standard has been met,
That's
then
fair.
we can all
'Cause
celebrate it.
all I was thinking was like, I'm quite happy. There's quite a lot of.
It's not about you, Chris.
I'm sorry. There's so many good games. Like I'm like really there's loads. Like I'm really enjoying them, and I'm a grown up now. I can just get them if I want. It's really nice. But no, that's just me. But yeah, PlayStation. It's pretty good. I imagine we'll do more of these. We've done Nintendo. We've done PlayStation. Microsoft will be the next one. I've got a lot because I'm from X. Well, we'll get onto it later. Well, I'll save that chat for the
Save it
Microsoft
until we have that
episode.
chat.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you for joining us, Game Friends. Follow us on Twitter. We're at Game Friends Pod. We're on Stitcher. You may be listening to us now. You may be listening to us on YouTube right now or iTunes. Leave us a little review, because why would you not do that? Because
It helps us.
apparently it helps. I don't know what those metrics
Algorithms, mate. Algorithms.
are. Other podcasts say it helps.
Do positive things on the things and
Do
then
the
good
thing
things.
to the thing. But
Yes.
if you do enjoy it, my way of doing it is like, just tell a mate. Tell a
also
mate.
good.
Yeah, tell your mate it's good. He might enjoy it as well if you think he's all right. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you all next time. Bye. Game Friends. Ho!